Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Today, Bhagavan's devotees all over the world celebrate his 141st Jayanti, that is, his birthday. Who is Bhagavan? Can we know him? Did anyone know him at all? Let us see what his British devotee, Major Alan Chadwick, said. The human intellect can never understand Bhagavan. It is sure to fail, always. Satyamangalam Venkata Ramana Iyer, who came for 4 days for Bhagavan's darshan at Virupaksha cave, wrote, Savadum Pirappumilla Tattva Mudivai Nindroi. That is, you are the ultimate reality beyond birth and death. That is all we can say of Bhagavan. We celebrate his birth because, having forms ourselves, we give him a form. Having been born, we attribute birth and death to him. Nothing doing. As we cannot stand the infinite voltage of Bhagavan, we step it down in our mind's transformers to a bearable voltage. Bhagavan once said in the old hall of ashram, if you think I am this body, you will be deceived. It will go one day. Old ashramate Kanakammal, one day, when I said that she should live many, many more years for our sake, told me, we all come and go. Bhagavan is always there. One evening in 1949, before the Tamil Parayanam began at the ashram, a woman devotee told Kunja Swamiji, Swamiji, how lucky you are. You have seen Bhagavan and spent many years with him. Kunja Swamiji said, we did not also see him because Bhagavan had no body. He had no body then and has no body now. He is always there. Bhagavan's devotees were all like that, from the most learned to those who could not even sign their names, from the most affluent to the penniless, from those who were with him right from Virupaksha days or even earlier to those who came a few days earlier. They were all equally graced by Bhagavan with peace, joy, love and knowledge. They all knew that Bhagavan had neither birth nor departure in the real sense, for he pervaded their entire being. I could sense it when I interacted with them. Bhagavad Gita says of the Atman, the Self, that it is ajo nitya shashvataha. That is, it is unborn, eternal, abiding. And it is nityaha, sarvagataha, sthanuhu, acharaha. That is, it is eternal, all-pervading, changeless, and motionless. What a perfect description of Bhagavan. The Guru is Atman, God, beyond birth and death, formless and yet present in all forms. Yet there is an advent, a descent, avatar, an incarnation, which means manifestation in flesh and blood. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, when there is a decline in dharma or righteousness, an ascendancy of adharma or unrighteousness, tadatvanam srijamyaham, then I manifest myself, take form. Bhagavan, the infinite, unborn, came in a human form. Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni, the great poet devotee, who named the young silent Swami at Virupaksha cave as Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, because being a man of amazing intelligence, intense penance, and perfect knowledge of the scriptures, he saw with his illumined eyes the uniqueness of the young sage. He says in his Sri Ramana Chatvarimshat, 40 verses on Sri Ramana, now when righteousness has been destroyed and the three worlds are in the turmoil of evil, when people vainly bandy about knowledge as mere words and the very existence of the Supreme Lord, the Father, is in vacillation, who else but you could be the refuge of good people, O peacock born in the guise of man? Ganapati Muni saw Ramana as the incarnation of Lord Subrahmonyam, Kartikeya, Skanda, Muruga, who rides the peacock. Bhagavan, the formless one, came in human form. He is in all forms. He is the very nature, the very heart of all beings. He is not apart from us. He is our own self. Bhagavan came in the human form to show men their divine nature. He taught this more in silence, more by his very life than by verbal expositions. Ganapati Muni ends his most admirable 40 verses on Sri Ramana with the words Brinam Vidarsanamayam Ramano Maharshihi. That is, Ramana Maharshi is the supreme exemplar for human beings. Ramana appeared and lived among us to show what true living is, what our true nature is. He gave us the wonder key to it in Who Am I? When he told questioners to find out who they were, he asked them to realize their limitless, non-dual, blissful nature. When one wakes up thus, all doubts vanish. Bhagavan said, don't be this or that. Just be yourself. Just be. He told Thinnai Swami, Iru, be, done. He came to show us how to be ourselves, or rather ourselves. When you are yourself, then there are no others. The other is the phantom creation of the spooky ego. There is only one consciousness. We are the ocean of non-dual consciousness. But by the power of Maya, the grand illusion, we become many. And there is conflict, suffering, attachment, sorrow. Bhagavan says in his Ulladu Narpadu, 40 verses on reality, Udalulle Yellayara Tanolirum Nanaduve. That is, to those who, though within the body, know the self, the eye shines boundless. Bhagavan came to show us our true nature. That is Jayanti, when the infinite, the divine, came in human form, which is only in our human perception. In reality, there is no form. There is neither poku nor varavu, neither coming nor going. Bhagavan is ever the Chidakasha, the limitless consciousness space. In its boundless compassion, the infinite came as Ramana. Bhagavan scholar devotee Vishwanatha Swamiji puts it beautifully thus, Yasyormi matram bhuvanam samastam. That is Ramana, to whom the whole universe is but a wave over him, the ocean. Om Tat Sat.